I hit the done button.
Die.
So
Good.
at the end
Bye.
of these
Good night.
shows, I can't actually figure out how to stop the feed, but I can tell it to stop before we actually begin. Hi, guys, Malton and Elizabeth, week 732.
It's
We,
slowing down a little bit.
well, we didn't, we went out some this week. We're,
didn't
we're
go
not, we're
out.
not all locked, we're not 100% locked up.
We didn't go out. We didn't go like.
We moved the camera back. By the way, we have a microphone now. We're using a microphone. So hopefully you can hear us. If somebody's not hearing us, oh my gosh, I hope they'll say so. Well, we really need some bigger phone.
Maybe one of them 11
maybe
Max.
we need one of those
Pros.
11 Max Pros, and only you can make sure that we get it. If we do, what is that? What is that? Kickstart. We're gonna kickstart to buy ourselves an iPhone 11 Pro because it'll be big enough for us to read.
Yeah.
I still can't see.
I don't want to read.
I'm
Perfect.
taller than you, so I have to always go like that. But then you don't like it because you feel like
That's okay.
you're falling off the
I'm
world.
getting used to it.
But we've also moved back. People associate me with fancy camera shots. This is what we're using as a tripod. This is a wooden box on a piece of shelf on a couple of stools because
So it's a lot like Good Eats.
it's a lot like good. Hey,
The James Beard
so-
Award nominated Good Eats. I didn't say that. I wasn't supposed to say
the
that.
the important thing to say about the James Beard Foundation nominations this week is our colleague and friend Jet Tila nominated for Jet Fuel, his digital program on Food Network. And there's Scabigail will have a show next year. Just watch. Anyway, Cinco de Mayo, not really celebrated very much in Mexico, not the way that it is here. It's mostly kind of a military thing there, celebrating the 1862 victory of the Mexican army at the Battle of Puebla over the French.
You just boned up on that, didn't you?
Well, I remember it because I was born in 1962, exactly 100 years before. But the reason that it's not so much, this is a very,
My Frida Kahlo.
my wife's rocking a Frida Kahlo.
I'm festooned.
She also has a unibrow. It's just very, very long, very blonde unibrow. Anyway, the reason that it's not that big of a day to celebrate is that the French came back like the next year and took over the place.
But we,
but
here in America,
here in America,
we drink Mexican beer and we drink margaritas and we eat
well,
guacamole and
we
we
can't
go
drink Mexican beers that well.
eat frigitters.
We're probably for what?
Frigitters. I
Frigitters?
worked in a Tex-Mex place in Nashville when I was in school there at Vanderbilt.
Of course you did.
And people come in all the time and order frigitters.
For jitters. What you mean?
Fajitas.
Fajitas? Oh my God. Okay. Well, we're not having fajitas tonight, but we are going to experiment with a little thing that I've been doing with margaritas, and we'll have some other food. I have to apologize if I look a little wacky. I had my eyes examined today, and they put all kinds of stuff in there, so you guys look very fuzzy. And
We feel very,
overexposed.
very fortunate that you don't have to have eye surgery.
I do
Because
not
this
have to have eye
weekend,
surgery. We thought that I torn a retina, and
He was out grilling and he came in and he was like, I got this thing in my eye. I can't see. I got this like.
I didn't say I
crescent
can't
there."
see. I said I've got like this
It's
crescent-shaped
wigging you out. And it
flash.
should have wigged you out.
Well, yeah. I mean, every time I moved my eye, I saw this
Yeah.
this thing.
Yeah.
So it turns out it's not a tear. It's something that old people get. Hey, who wants to hear? As some of you know, okay, we only do a song every 2 weeks. And by the way, thanks for the love. We got a lot of love on our TLC cover.
Thank you.
From last
Seriously,
week. Thank you.
that was-
That was a little risky.
And now I'm going to sing more because of it.
And yes, somebody did say it was the whitest cover of No Scrubs ever
Oh, no.
performed. And all I can
was a
say
white
is, look at us.
Yeah.
You know, we're
We
wasps.
represent.
We're wasps, but at least we're not murder hornets. Which, by the way, would be my motorcycle gang.
And now
think
I can't
would
go
with.
back to-
You can never go back. We're never going back to Washington,
Washington
State. They're
State.
2
My-
inches freaking long. And somebody said today, and I read a thing on the internet, there's no reason to worry about murder hornets. No, there's every reason to worry about murder hornets. Why? Because they exist. I don't care where they are on planet
Right.
Earth.
Well, the people
we
in
need to hunt
Washington
them
State
down.
probably don't
What-
want to hear you like terrify them. COVID and murder hornets.
COVID probably ride on the back. Remember how Kyle MacLachlan and all the Fremen rode on the back of the sandworms in Dune? That's probably COVID on the back of murder hornets.
Well, It's not what's not good.
So before we get into making our drink, you may remember that our keyboardist from our tour, Chris Smallwood, wrote a theme song for us to try out. Chris Smallwood, amazing musician also out of Nashville. And he did something a little special for us this week. So I want to play this now because this is in honor of
Theme song. Just like we do it.
Okay.
I like
so
it.
thanks, Chris Smallwood. I like the mariachi
Very
version
apropos.
better, actually, than the piano jazz version. Just
I'm gonna
saying.
wash my hands.
Washing the hands would be a good thing. I need to put my gigantic computer away. So the margarita, classic beverage, but most recipes I do not like. Oh, by the way, yes, I wear this scarf every week. It's called a trademark. Get over it. Most recipes, 90% of the recipes for a margarita on planet Earth contain an orange liqueur called Cointreau. In my estimation, it has no freaking business being there. I don't, number one, it's sticky sweet, it's expensive as hell, it's French, and this whole thing was about beating the French, so why
Maybe
the hell is
French
that
brought
there?
it when it, yeah, that's why.
Well, it's stuffy, it's sticky, it's sweet, and a good margarita should be fresh and bright, not sticky sweet kid stuff from France. I resist this. So I'm going to make you my version, and I think that it has a little bit of an innovation in it that I'm kind of proud of, to be honest. That I figured out. Do you need your glasses?
I will. I don't remember
Well, I'm going to set them over here.
Okay.
When I'm making cocktails like this, see, they can't.
I don't know. Do your magic.
I'm gonna
Camera magic.
squat. I'll be like,
I
yes,
could get you a
master."
box and you can get on your knees.
I think that Scabigail did that thing where she makes juice come out of her butt and it smells up the whole place.
I was
Do
trying
you smell
to not
it?
mention
Do you,
it.
did she juice
That's
you?
why, yeah.
Did she?
We don't talk about
Whoa! Apparently, it has something to do with anal gland.
They do not. Let's make the margarita.
Hell yes, let's make the
You
margarita.
can tweet about it later.
All right, so I'm actually using this cup. Next week we put you on a box, so that wow,
Get in a box
that is
tonight.
such a distinctive aroma. It's like a
It's
skunk
not me.
went off in here. Where is it on you? Because
I'm
oh,
not gonna go change.
it's not on me, is it?
Stop. Just I can't. Poor dog.
It's
hiding
it's
in the
probably
corner.
not on you. She, by the way, she really is. She's so ashamed that she butt juiced that she's hiding over here.
You're like obsessed with that. Now she's
Did you
done.
juice?
Can we just speaking of juice?
Okay, I'm sorry.
We have lime juice.
We have lime juice. So here's the way I'm doing this. I'm using a barista scale because, to tell you the truth, sometimes I lose my jigger, and I don't want to measure an alcoholic beverage
That's
with.
a hard thing to admit.
There are-
Not many men will admit that they lose their jigger.
or that their dog
Well,
juices in the
stop
kitchen.
with that. Okay, where's your jigger?
I don't need it. I'm going to use a scale. I formulate most of my cocktails by weight. I know it's annoying to some of you guys. Yes, I use grams, and that is because it's easily scalable, and I don't have to worry about jiggers. So here's what I'm doing. I'm going to use a Blanco tequila. But I was going to shake that for you. Do you want me to do that first? But
I think
Do you
it's
want
going
it
to
chilled?
take a minute, so I'm going to.
well, you do your thing. My wife does not like tequila, so she is going to be drinking some aloe liqueur elixir thing that she's making. I think that it's fine because aloe is related, right,
Well, that's why I went
to
and got
agave. So I'll keep doing this. You do that. All right. So I'm using a Blanco tequila, and this.
Do you want me to hold the camera?
This one is Esplan. I like it because it's got a skeleton riding a chicken. They don't pay me to say it. They could, or they could send free stuff.
So you always say that, and I want to say for somebody who's
Nobody
not in the,
does.
no,
Nobody
what
ever
I want to
sings
say
anything.
is we're not paid to say it. Always sounds like we're.
But I'm not.
I understand, but I think for those of us
This is
not
not
in
a
the TV
promoted-
world that are not, why you have to say that? Because it sounds.
You're leaving the frame.
It
Oh no, see,
sounds-
you're short too, so we could actually do this. No, what it sounds like is it's
I'm
not
always
like me
short.
begging for promotion,
No, I
but you have
understand.
to say that if you're gonna say that you like something, you have to say that you don't get it's not a paid promotion.
I understand.
Otherwise, you have to disclose that it's a paid promotion.
No, I understand.
And it's not though.
It's just it's a very interesting thing that you say that I'm like
I do it all the time, mostly because I want them to send me free stuff. And I'm just doing it in a very passive way.
Well, this comes out.
All right, so I'm going to go, and this is for a very large single. I'm going to go with 60 grams, milliliters, same thing, of the tequila. And I'm using a Boston shaker, and I'm using the small bottom here. And you know what? If you don't get it exactly perfectly right, that's fine. And let's face it, as the night goes on, odds are you're not going to. You're going to mess it up, and that's going to be fine. Look, I hit 61.4. Who cares? I'm going to zero that out. Now I have lime juice, freshly squeezed. I even left these here so you would know they were freshly squeezed.
Are you paid to say that?
You got an attitude problem.
I'm just kidding.
You've got a real attitude problem.
I'm just kidding. Okay.
It's okay. You live with me. No one's gonna call you on it. 30 grams or milliliters of freshly squeezed lime juice, and I leave the pulp in because I ain't scared of it at all. I like a lot of lime. This is basically like a gimlet except with tequila. Which what would be wrong with that? I can usually get enough out of one lime.
It has
Boom,
tequila
right
in
there.
it. That's what's wrong.
You're just not a tequila fan.
I
Was there
know.
something that happened?
Well,
Was there an event? You know, because it only takes one night.
tequila and I are
And the
not
wrong
friends.
the
We're
wrong
not
group of
friends.
people or the right group of people in one night,
Tequila and I are not friends.
and you can never go back.
Yeah.
I, for instance,
It has to do with the 80s.
can never, ever, ever, ever again touch peppermint schnapps. You know how they throw up when they throw up in What We Do in the Shadows? If they touch a piece of human food and it's like,
Yeah.
that's me if I have peppermint schnapps.
Okay. Noted.
Because one night in college, my freshman year, I decided to mix on and off all night scotch, beer, and peppermint
Well, you
schnapps.
deserved every bit of that then.
I actually fountained out of my
Oh,
nose.
okay. You're
It was
just-
like. So there was a night.
Have you had a bad day?
No, but my eyes feel really weird
Yeah.
because they jetted this strange chemical into it. Okay, so far we're 60 grams or 2 parts in this case of tequila, 30 grams of the lime, and now we're going to add some sweetener. Agave makes perfect sense, being that tequila is also made from it. You really do need some kind of syrup here. And by the way, the viscosity of this syrup explains why I'm actually doing this in a shaker instead of in a mixing glass. Whenever I'm mixing viscosities like this, I always do that. So I'm going to go 20 grams of this stuff. 20 grams.
It's a lot of grams.
It's not a lot of grams. It's a lot of grams if it's cocaine, but it's not a lot of grams if it's agave. I saw that movie, the one with Al Pacino. Okay, now, on the other side of the shaker, ice. Entertain them. Entertain our guests while I get the ice.
Okay. Well, I know I eat kale and I don't like tequila, so that makes me an American and probably suspect. I don't know. I did probably have a really bad night with
An
tequila
event.
a long
You had
time
an
ago.
event.
I don't know. I just never really liked it. I don't know why. And I've tried all the good stuff, and I don't know. I just didn't.
Well,
So this
middle
stuff
school
is-
is all about learning life lessons.
It's true. That probably.
Now tell me
Sure.
about that. This is an amazing.
Yeah, I don't usually do
Liqueur.
liqueurs, but this is an aloe vera liqueur, which
Aloe vera
I
cucumber.
think the restaurant, well, in Atlanta, Banshee. Hi,
Banshee?
Katie, and
Serves this.
yeah.
Muskmelon,
Violet.
spearmint, sugar, and water. So we'll let you shake up some of that in a minute.
Yeah.
Because that's pretty tasty. So I have here, the secret weapon is coming. Now, if anybody has ever done a drink or shaken a drink until it's really, really cold with a Boston shaker, you know the air inside contracts, creating a vacuum that is sometimes devilishly difficult to release. Well, I figured out a way to enhance the flavor of this drink, while also giving myself quick release, shall we say, or easy release. I'm not quite sure how to put that so that it sounds like what I meant. What I add is a little bit of club soda, or in this case, tonic water. I'll be back.
Again,
Yes,
you can't get on
I
with
opened this bottle earlier, but it still got fizz.
one trip.
It's still got
What's the
fizz.
difference between these and the cocktail shakers that have the lid
Because
with
the lid with the strainer on it
Yeah.
gets all gummed up with crap. You gotta like wash it every time. It's where you almost never see, except in like hardcore martini restaurant
Yeah.
bars, they'll use
Yeah.
that. But in a mixed
pour
drink
out of 'em.
situation, the Boston Shaker, which I'm using in honor of you,
Baston? I can say
because it's
Boston
from
strong.
Boston. It's Boston. Why it's called a Boston, I don't actually
was
know.
invented.
Anyway, so here's the thing. I pour the liquid into the ice. We don't need this guy anymore. And then I'm going to add that much tonic water. It'll add a little bit of flavor, but the main
That
thing...
much? You measured everything else, and now you're like, boop. That. I'm just making a point. How much do you think that was? I'm curious.
37 grams.
37 grams, ladies and gentlemen. He knows. Okay.
I'd already turned it off.
I know. I just think it's funny. that you measured
My eyes are dilated. Everything's fuzzy. I can't see anything.
Then you're like,
I'm nervous. So here's the thing. Now, watch. Okay, so
very
what's going to
sweet.
happen? It's getting pretty darn cold. And typically there would be a heck of a vacuum involved, but there's not going to be in this case because...
I just invented this really great news.
God damn it! God damn it!
I was upstairs.
Every time
I was upstairs earlier today. I hear, Elizabeth, I have changed cocktail making forever. And I had to come downstairs and see his quick race. That was pretty quick.
If it had been a fresh bottle, the carbonation of the tonic water, when shaken, would have expanded, counteracting the vacuum.
You did demonstrate, and it did.
And I
look beautiful.
demonstrated it several times.
Yes. Which is not to say that you had several drinks.
I have not had several.
No,
I've
I
had
know.
one.
I said, which is not to say that you have had several drinks. But you did.
I do not salt the rim.
So it worked.
Do we have to keep talking about it?
No, but he explained to me because the carbonation is a gas, like when you shake up a bottle, and
It replaces it counteracts the vacuum of the cold air.
there we go.
Except
Science,
when you
ladies and
do it
gentlemen.
apparently on you freaking tube. And then it doesn't apparently work at all. I do not salt the rim of my glasses because I'm not going to drink from anything that's been rimmed.
I'm just sawing her. Okay, I'm gonna go get on that note. So
What's in
someone asked
there?
about ice.
With
and
ice? Because we can shake it in this. And if we add a little tonic water, the carbonation will
I don't want any
release.
tonic. Okay, all right. Okay, I'll try. I'll bite. Let's
No,
do tonic water.
no. No more tonic water. I'm dead.
While you're doing that,
Tonic water is dead to
somebody
me.
asked about the little garden out there. I am gonna go cut cement.
Why don't I start doing what I was going to do food-wise? And you go and you take the camera, go out there.
No,
you
I'm
want
not
me
gonna
to
take
follow
the
you?
camera. You're gonna follow me. I mean, whatever. I'm just
All right.
cutting men.
Well, our new microphone only faces one direction.
Our new microphones.
Well,
we can
because the new one,
only... Oh, I just noticed it.
the even newest one hasn't.
You guys can't.
Hello.
Hello.
Well, they could. So I can't actually do the whole. Well, I guess what I could do is I could flip this over and narrate. Okay, they can hear me. I'm just cutting mint. What do you like? It's a pot with mint in it. We're not going to play this game. I'm Elizabeth. I'm cutting some. Ow. This is what happens when I grow plants. Is they die.
It's just to get underneath there. So which would be better, sir? Chocolate mint?
Well, it would be chocolate now. Chocolate mint? See, if I unplug this and face it the other way, I think the phone explodes.
Of course, the train comes
And now the
by.
train. Somebody wanted to see the train last week. Oh, yeah, they're there. Okay, there's the train. There it is. Train. That's how close we live to the tracks. Okay, get your mint, my sweet.
Culinary expert, chocolate mint or spearmint?
I would use both the chocolate mint and the spearmint. And they can't hear you, apparently, but they can hear me very, very well. Here, we'll do this again.
There, I got both
Perfect.
the
Now,
chocolate mint.
when making
Just not
cocktails,
chocolate. Spearmint.
I wonder if they use that to make mint chip ice cream, because I certainly would. All right, the train's gone by.
And we're back.
When making a cocktail with a liqueur and you don't know what to do, it always helps to look at the ingredients of the liqueur and use a substance that was already used to make that liqueur. In this case, mint. So I'm going to put this back.
Are we gonna muddle?
Are we going to muddle? I don't know. Do you want to muddle, or you want to muddle on through? We can muddle. We have a muddler.
Muddle.
I don't know that I can find it. Is it anywhere?
Oh, one muddler, ladies and gentlemen. One muddler. Okay.
So if you want to muddle here, you want.
Huge mint leaf.
It's very
I grew it myself. I'm very big.
And I'm rinsing this. You know what? I have not tasted this margarita.
Oh. Well, you should take this. You should sip.
I really like the tonic water. Yeah, see, I've cut your head off. This is.
That's okay.
I'm ongoing problem.
No one knows.
Here, I'll just
No one
shift.
cares.
Now I'm in the greenery. I'm in the
fella,
lilacs.
I'll just stand like this the rest of the night. I'm gonna crit
That is
one day.
freaking delicious. The tonic water, just a splash, rounds out and helps the tequila marry properly to the lime. And again, no to the salt. No salt, because I'm not rimming.
No, I don't want no salt. Salt is the.
Too soon. Okay, so you're muddling your drink. We're also going to make food tonight, even though we've already totally trashed 20 perfectly good minutes of time. You're muddling. Do you want a little sugar added to it, or is the liqueur
No.
sweet enough?
Muddling. Muddle.
We're going to make food too.
Yeah. Very simple.
Our feelings on food at Mexican restaurants is that usually by the time your entrees come, you're already full. Do you want to strain that? Here, wait. Hawthorne strainer to the rescue.
Dun, da, da, da. Also, did not know the name of that. The Hawthorne
No,
strainer.
this is a Hawthorne strainer. That is what it is.
I didn't know it was called that.
It is.
Wow.
There you go. Because it was invented by Nathaniel Hawthorne.
I don't buy that, but okay.
Everybody knows that. Our theory is that by the time you get your entree, is it good?
It's minty.
It is minty, I bet. By the time you get your entree, I'm over here in the lilac again. You don't want your entree anymore because you filled up on chips, salsa, and guac. So
So that's really why you go.
that's
eat
all we're
Mexican.
gonna make. We're gonna make fry our own chips, and I'm gonna make guacamole, and you're gonna make the salsa. We want to, by the way, thank some fans and close personal friends in California. Maureen and Aton noticed that the other week we were complaining, or as they said, making excuses for not making things because we didn't actually own a mortar and pestle, which is true despite the fact that we have 15 at the office. And so they sent us this mortar and pestle, and I think it's, although
The sponge. Sorry.
they didn't send us the sponge.
I know. I just realized. I was like, oh, with the sponge, which.
Oh crap! I forgot we hadn't turned the lights on. I'm like, it is getting dark. This mortar and pestle was gifted to us, and it's lovely. And I'm only going to say where it came from because I think it's lovely enough and well made enough to say.
I'm getting to be a fan of this site.
This came from Food 52, which I have never really bought stuff from, but I have to tell you, this is a nice design. It's nice and heavy, and it's got a textured interior, which is what you want. So I'm going to be using that
I think
to
it's a
make
really
my
great
guacamole.
site. I just discovered it.
Food 52's been around for a while. I've done some stuff with them before. Anyway,
New to me, like so many things are.
that's kind of a plug, I guess. Elizabeth's going to make her salsa.
Mouse.
I'm now going to make guacamole. But first, chips. I want to check the oil. I've been
Should we
heating some
cheers?
oil.
To Cinco de Mayo.
Screw
Oh,
the French. Down with. Well, that's what it's about.
Screw the French.
Screw the French, except in Spanish, which I don't speak. If somebody could tell us how to say screw the French.
Oh, I'm sure. I should know that, but I don't.
Why are you leaving me? Oh, you're going to put on some music. Okay, I'm going to move the camera yet one more time. If you want to apply to be the cameraman on this show, we're in the market. I have a pot of oil over here, and I'm going to get it up to 350 degrees. It was there a little while ago. You got to watch these things pretty closely. I'm using a thermometer made by ThermoWorks. I use these things on TV all the time, and I can never say who makes them. ThermoWorks. Have I already done that on this show? You're turning on all the lights.
It's about to pour down rain and it's very dark.
If we lose you, it's because it's going to storm here.
Yeah,
All right, this is a couple of minutes away.
it's imminent.
It is imminent. The program called Good Eats has a guacamole recipe that's popular, but to tell you the truth, it's more of a cutting board version of guacamole. You cut everything up and stir it together. I want to make just a small batch for she and I in this mortar and pestle. Technically, we would be using a molcajete if we were like hardcore, but we're not. So, although we might be by the time we've nailed down these drinks. I can tell there are gonna be 3 of those in the night tonight.
Great.
So- What?
Great.
Break?
Great.
Oh, great. Do you have some cilantro over there? Haas, avocados. I've got one that feels. Ooh, I like that one. Oh, that feels good. I don't know that I get more than one in here. We may be having a 1 avocado guac.
Okay.
It's like a tableside. What are we listening to?
Mexican jazz.
Mexican jazz. Excellent. I hope it's by dead people because otherwise we could get in trouble, but we're not going to. I'm going to hold this until the end. What I want to go into this, some onion. I'm going to use a little bit of garlic and some spices. Oh, hell. I don't even know what spice. Do you need some spices?
I do not.
You do not need any spices for your.
I don't. Leading me again.
We're going to the pantry. Are you going to use all these tomatoes? So you've got a bunch of aromas. I've got my tortillas. I like white corn tortillas. So does Elizabeth. We have this can.
I'm not using that.
I might have to. Cilantro. Scabigal. You all right?
We're not putting scabigal on.
I just want to say Scabigal is sponsored by Beefeater and Bombay Sapphire because she's very, very diplomatic. Into the pantry. All right, some spice. It's gone downhill in here, guys. I'm not going to lie to you. What? We've yeah. So I'm going to look for some cayenne. I'm going to use some cayenne. Do we have a jalapeno, sweetheart?
Yeah, I told
You know what?
guys.
I'm lazy. I'm not going to cut up another jalapeno.
I cut 2.
Well, it's okay because we're gonna eat it before it has time to really flavor anything. I've got some cumin standing by here, and no red pepper flake, chili powder. That's cheating. I'm not gonna use that. Dulse flakes. What do you think about Dulse flakes in guacamole, sweetheart? What?
No.
No. What about turmeric? You put turmeric in everything. All right. Well, I'm gonna use something else. What? Yeah, maybe just the garlic and these guys will be enough. And then we have olive oil out there. We have some olive oil, right?
Yes.
We're running out of a lot of things. A lot of things. I'm gonna check my oil.
We just have to get it.
What?
We do have more.
Remember, this new microphone's very sexy, but it can't hear you unless it's pointing at you.
We have more
Okay.
olive oil. What?
Just watching you cut.
Cilantro?
Watching you cut cilantro. While I try to get this oil
Are
up.
we making you cringe as normal?
Your knife skills used to make me cringe pretty terribly, but the truth is I've never seen you cut yourself.
That's true. It does happen. But I was going to use a
What?
food processor, and you're like, nope.
No.
'Cause it
You
was-
can. Do you mind if she uses a food processor? I don't mind
it's
if you use a
like-
food
everyone thinks
processor.
I use food. I do actually use food processor.
We like. Well, there's nothing wrong with a food
I can
processor,
either do
sweetheart.
pico or I can do salsa, which is pico is basically big salsa, right? Which do you prefer?
I want you to make. This is. We promised each other that the only way that we would continue to do this.
I mean-
Yeah, we have a lot of globes. Get over it. Is that if we
Somebody
didn't
else
plan
just
anything?
point out the globes again?
No, but I figured they were because they do every week. There's
First
something
timer.
about the
Sometime
globes.
we're gonna just have to switch it up with something else.
You're gonna look up there. There's gonna be nothing but bottles of kimchi. By the way,
I think I am gonna end it. Oh, the visitation of the kimchi. The visitation.
next to the chickpeas, some roasted cauliflower, some salad greens, a couple of beets, some strawberries. We are actually running out of food. There are canned sardines in there. What do we have in here? You know, hemp hearts, which nobody eats.
I do.
And yeah, all right. Well, if anybody's feeling bad about how your refrigerator looks, don't, because trust me, ours is worse. All right, I'm gonna put the camera back over here so I can get my hands on things. Your you've decided to hand chop.
I am.
No one would judge you, sweetheart, for.
It's okay. It's alright.
Would you guys judge her if she's a food processor?
It's alright.
Tools are smart. Mankind has defined himself by the use of tools.
The knife is a tool.
Yes, the knife is a tool. I get it. Speaking of knives as tools, I vastly prefer home fried tortillas. And if you're gonna fried or eat fried food, make it yourself. And I like to make a lot of them, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut these so I have them ready when the grill is hot. I can't reach any of the knives because of your massive flour display, your botanical display. So I'm gonna quarter. Do you prefer your chips quartered or eighth?
Me?
Yeah,
I guess 8.
quartered it is. I'd already done it. Sorry, I thought for sure you'd say quartered.
Well, I'm dainty, you know.
You are dainty and very ladylike. I've got these standing by. Notice that, as is the case with Good Eats, I do have a cooling rack set in a pan. My chips are standing by. Elizabeth is making a very handsome. You decided to go pico de gallo, or did you decide to go salsa?
I just always thought pico was a big salsa.
Is that true? Is pico de gallo a big salsa? I didn't know that,
I don't know either.
which kind of bothers me
No, I may be dead
because
wrong
I'm
on
supposed to
that.
know things.
I'm probably totally wrong. I'm sure they're blowing up the little phone they're saying, but I'm dead wrong.
No, they're saying they can't hear you because our sexy new microphone isn't facing you.
Oh,
So you only sound good if you're facing this thing.
okay.
So I have to come over here.
So,
Nobody wants to hear me. They
I don't
wanna
have
hear
much
you.
to say. I don't know. Pico de gallo is big salsa.
Is pico de gallo big salsa? Somebody look it up and get back to us. I've got to make guacamole. Here comes another goddamn train.
Well, they must come by every night because they're always on the same schedule.
Well, they do come by every night. There's no question about that. Even though I'm going to do this with the mortar and pestle setup here, I do want to actually chop, semi-chop, part of this onion. It is a white onion, which I actually think is better. You're a fan of the white onion.
Oh, yeah.
She's not a yellow onion fan. I used to be hardcore
They have
yellow
soups,
onion.
but white for like.
My only grief with white onions is they tend to be a lot harder to peel. And I'm not one of those guys, like those chefs who can go zip, zip, zip with a knife. It's like, there's no more skin
I don't
on
know.
the onion. How does that happen? It's because I am brilliant.
Is a white onion a bleached yellow onion?
No, it's mostly just been, I mean, they're a different variety, but they've also been kiln dried. That's why they're also called storage onions. Storage onions store longer because they've got a lower moisture content. I also think they just taste more oniony, to be
White
honest.
onions?
Yeah,
I always think
don't you?
white.
More than yellow?
Maybe, yeah, I kind of thought so. Maybe not.
I think so.
Maybe not.
All right.
For some reason.
Why can't I get this oil to 350 degrees?
I don't know, but if you've never been to Walla Walla, Washington, they do. The Walla Walla.
I have been to Walla Walla, and I know that Walla Walla is very famous for
Onions.
their sweet yellow onions,
So good.
which is a lot like, what's the one from Texas?
I don't know, Vadelia's from the south.
Well, of course, there are Vidalias. And when you move to Georgia, they give you a bag of them
I did not
at the
know that.
border, along with a gallon of peanut oil and
Right.
a Chick-fil-A.
That's probably true.
Might as well be true.
And
Now,
COVID.
I don't need that much onion, so because we're doing it like a mini batch here. So as you can see, I've perfectly. I'm not measuring any of this crap. This isn't that kind of show. Here's that wonderful story when they're making the first Star Wars,
Yeah.
Episode 4, right? And you guys know the story, and you know the whole scene in the trash compactor. And apparently, the way they were shooting in a sequence, they were getting ready to do a scene that took place after that, but Mark Hamill's hair wasn't wet, and so he's complaining about the fact, hey, wouldn't my hair be wet? Continuity, whatever. And Harrison Ford looks over and says, hey, kid, it ain't that kind of movie. It ain't that kind of movie.
No continuity. Why did they start
I spoke to Harrison Ford once because he ended up sitting next to me at a little cafe in Kansas because we were both there visiting Cessna. And I spoke to him, and he did not speak back to me.
Both you and Harrison Ford happened to be in the same tiny cafe.
We were in the same tiny cafe, and I didn't know. And the owner, like the waiter, says, "Hey, what about that? Elton Brown and Harrison Ford in one night." And I go, "Ha ha ha!" And he steps away, and there's Harrison Ford, and I'm like,
Wow.
and I looked at him, and I'm like, "I love you." And I thought he'd look at me and just not even lose a beat and say, "I know." That's not what he said. He didn't
Oh.
say it.
Yeah, he probably thought you were actually.
That's his hang up. That's not my hang up.
You're man enough. You're man enough to.
I'm man enough in. Yes.
So many ways. I got it.
All right. I made fried chips before.
You know, you can't bring up
I
Star
am.
Wars without mentioning that yesterday was May the
Yesterday.
4th.
Look, you're not a big Star Wars fan, though, are you?
Yeah, no, I love the
Go
first
easy. Go
three.
easy. There are only 2.5 Star Wars movies to me.
Well, yeah, the Ewoks.
No, the second the first Ewok
Jar
shows
Jar
up, we're
Binks and the
done.
Ewoks.
We're done. We're finished. I'm done. I'm done. That's like That's like Chewbacca meets Mini Me meets Tattoo.
Was Jar Jar Binks
From-
in the same one?
No, Jar Jar Binks was later. That was
Oh,
in.
that's right.
Yeah,
That was, yeah, not watchable. Sorry
that was
to
not
a friend
watchable.
who I adore.
That was not. I'm afraid none of them have been watchable since. Empire Strikes Back. As far as I'm concerned,
Why did they start with number 4?
they started with number 4 because there are certain things that George Lucas is pretty freaking brilliant about, like keeping his toy rights and things like that. All right, I'm throwing in a clove of garlic, and really a clove is going to be enough here, and I've just chopped it into 8 pieces.
See,
And I'm gonna.
I know there's garlic controversy with avocado. I don't.
Whoa! What controversy?
There's discussion about.
Here.
There's discussion about garlic and not
Huh.
garlic.
Ooh,
There's discussion about garlic or not garlic in
Willis, what
guacamole.
the hell are you talking about? Do you think that'll stay there? How did we do this last week? Damn it!
No, it worked.
I just wedged it down in there.
Wedged.
Wedged.
Wedgie.
I don't know that that's gonna stay. Ugh. Oh shit! I may have broken it. What is this about garlic and?
There's just controversy about no garlic or garlic in avocado. I mean, a guacamole.
Oh, so it's nothing to do with avocados per se.
No. Garlic in guacamole. Discuss.
So yeah, disgust. So if you're gonna, you're all right. It's okay. I'm gonna get my spider down to fish out the chips as they're done, and you don't want to cook more than about 8 at a time because the temperature of the oil will drop too much.
It'll be a long night cooking chips.
It is not going to be a long night cooking chips. I'm not going to turn on the hood this week because last week I did, and her voice immediately went away. Because apparently her voice
That may
is,
be welcome. That may be a welcome.
apparently the frequency of her voice is the same as a shrieking vacuum motor up on the roof. Your voice has nothing to do with a shrieking vacuum motor.
I've been told worse.
No, not by me. It's not true. All right, I should really have this thing closer. This is bad planning on my part. Terrible planning.
Yeah.
How are you guys doing? Did everybody get a cocktail?
Cinco de Mayo.
I want Chico de Mayo. I want to finish my.
My friend Liz did a really great song.
With your friend Liz.
Did a really
So-
Cinco de Mayo song. On Whip Smart, I think is what album.
It's going to storm like hell here, and it's raining pretty hard now. Elizabeth's lifelong friend is did she call herself a singer-songwriter, or she just call herself a rock star?
Rockstar.
Rock star Liz Fair, a lifelong friend of Elizabeth, closest thing she has to a sister. So shout out to Liz, who hopefully will be able to go on tour again one day soon.
We came from the same store.
She might not want everybody to know that.
Well, she talks about
So Elizabeth and Liz Fair were adopted from the same baby store, as they like to say. Which I guess is the New England blonde lady baby store. Oh shit! While I'm kibitzing with you, I'm burning these chips.
it. It does smell. You know,
I can do this.
So today was, this week was merciful. Jeez.
Yeah, it's storming like hell here. So, what about this week?
No, it's just raining.
No, it's storming like hell. Odds are we're not going to be able to continue to transit. Ow! Don't handle these with your fingers. You don't have to. So those are too dark. I'll eat them, but I'm not going to
It's
expect
like
anybody
a
else
waffle.
to.
At first, the first batch is not.
The first waffle is difficult.
That's what my dad always said. This is true.
Your dad always said the first waffle was no good.
Yeah.
Did he feed it to the dog?
We didn't have a dog.
You didn't have a dog. Why not?
I don't know. I always wanted a dog.
What life is worth living without a dog?
No.
You're doing a very pretty job. And I criticize you and cringe about your knife skills, but there you are, rocking it out. And I've managed to burn some chips.
Yeah, this is a little toasty.
Okay.
Even for me.
Do you want some more of your beverage?
Where's my? Oh, it is over there.
So just as soon as I had figured out the whole flipping the camera thing, now I can't because of the microphone. We'll get another microphone. We bought a really nice one made by a company called Shure. They just didn't bother to tell us that it's for iPhone 11s unless you have an iPhone 11, and then it doesn't work. Thanks, Shure. Really appreciate that. It's like, thanks for screwing us. Sure.
Sure. Sure.
All right. I think the temperature's better now. May still be a little on the hot side. Check it.
So I'm wondering if everyone went to the beach this week, because apparently they're open in Florida and they're open in California.
California and Florida are open?
Well, only certain counties in California. But also
This oil's way too hot.
What is the oil?
I let the oil get too hot. Go ahead. We're listening. You usually give us a nice kind of follow-up.
Well, I'm just wondering if people went to the beach.
Did anybody go to the beach? If somebody went to the beach this week, tell us.
But what I also learned is that, all these photos you see of like 9 million people on the beach, you told me this. I showed you like using 2 different lenses.
Yeah, they could actually be far apart.
Yeah.
But zoom lenses or long lenses make them look like they're all close together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So people may not be quite as close in line or on the beach as which is comforting to know. in my opinion.
Is there any comfort anymore?
Cold comfort.
There's the comfort of
Southern
knowing that when it
comfort.
opens, we would be able to get tickets to Hamilton.
Oh yeah. Broadway.
They say that the first shows that are going to open on Broadway are Hamilton, The Lion King, and Wicked,
Which has been seen by every
which
New
has been seen by
Yorker 5
every New
times
Yorker 5 times. So it's only tourists now.
who weren't going because the hotels aren't open. Or are they open? Maybe they are open.
I don't know. All I know is there are a lot of places besides New York.
But we love New York.
Yes, we love New York, but I also love a lot of other places. So do you.
I
You're
know.
Boston. What about Boston?
Well, it's very close
This is
to
the
New
weirdest
York.
goddamn music I've
I'm
ever
sorry.
heard in my
I
life.
know. I'll go change it.
No, it's okay. It's just I didn't know there was going to be Mexican science fiction jazz.
Yeah, it's a playlist. I don't know that I didn't put together.
Somebody's like ripping on the theremin.
Oh, you bought a theremin.
I bought a theremin and I tried to play it, and I messed with it for about 3 hours, and then I took it to the warehouse and locked it in a small room. It's the hardest goddamn thing I've ever. No, there is no playing. One does not simply play the theremin. Right? You don't just.
No. They may not know what it is.
The theremin. Look it up. Google it. They've all got internet, or they wouldn't be watching us. Boston rocks. How do you really feel, Alton? I don't know about what. It's very hard to read things off of this little bitty phone. If we had an iPhone 11
Max.
Pro Max, then we would be able to see.
We do have tablets. Just saying.
Ixnay on the ablete. Now, some of these chips are not like the others.
Well, variety is the spice of life.
Variety is the spice of life. Except when it comes to women. I don't need no variety because I have you.
Sweet. So this is super chunky.
Super chunk. Super chunk salsa.
It's also known as Scabigal
Did
salsa.
you Scabigal salsa? God damn it, Mom! It's too soon. Did you do your trick of adding a little bit of balsamic vinegar?
I think I'm going to do that.
I keep forgetting about the microphone. She adds balsamic vinegar a little bit to hers to make up for the fact that, let's face it, Roma tomatoes taste like crap. Actually, no, they don't. They don't taste like anything. You're right. I'm going to put a little paper towel on top of these chips because they're greasy as... I have not done a good job with these, and I still have the guacamole to make. This music
I'm going.
is like from some 60s Mexican robot movie. It's like Esquivel being beaten to death. I don't know. Scabs, you all right? Don't worry about that dog. All right. As soon as I got these chips done, I've got to make my guacamole. All I did was do the onions. Well, when you finish that, you can start grinding on the guac if you want.
Okay.
I'm almost done here.
I'll grind away. I can do that. Do we need? You need to cut some stuff.
No, no, because I'm gonna grind. So. Oh, you know what I need? I need some salt. What I'd love for you to do is, you don't like doing the camera work, do you?
I'm terrible at it.
You've never done it.
I know, but I'm just saying. But I always miss.
So you're terrible at it because you don't want to do it.
Oh, okay, I'll do it. Sorry.
No, keep going. No, finish your salsa. The salsa is more important. I'm adding some salt to this because it makes it a heck of a lot easier to pulverize the onion and the garlic. Pulls out some of the juices, which is what I want to do. You can't. Can you hear me? This microphone is very directional. I don't know if this microphone's going to work.
Okay.
Do you have any leftover tomato?
Yeah.
Could I have like just half a Roma tomato cut into maybe 8 pieces?
So sometimes I put salsa in guacamole. Do you just want to? Like,
Sure. Yes. Can I please have a spoon, just like a spoonful?
I'm gonna get it in there somehow. You man.
We're good. Look, the last ones actually look correct.
Yay.
No, let's not. No, put that back down. I'm going to put this on top of that. It's like, there. Of the 80 chips that I just made. This would never happen on TV. This only happens on YouTube, this kind of thing. Shit, I'm sorry. I'm dripping hot oil on my wife's bare feet. I'm so sorry. Sorry. All right, I'm covering. We've been trying to stay away from the hospital, and we're gonna end up in it. It's like, you were doing what? Well,
Flinging hot oil.
I flung hot oil onto my wife. I think they arrest people for that. All right. A little more salt.
All right. Well, can I grind away over here? You're saying?
Yeah. Start pestle and mortaring. Mortaring.
Mora.
Do you think I can make another margarita with one hand?
I'm sure that is a skill you require. I'm gonna put a little more of this in here. Did you hear they had the first Zoom meeting Supreme Court?
No, they did it on the phone. There was no
Zoom meeting?
picture. No, they didn't Zoom.
Why didn't they Zoom?
Because they were afraid that Ruth Bader Ginsburg would post porn.
Girls got it.
Plant life. I don't know
Hot oil.
why they didn't. But remember, the lawyers were all complaining about how we
couldn't-
can't read body language. And
Yeah. I just think that's a sign of the times, folks. A bunch of old people deciding our laws, sitting around just chatting on the phone.
a bunch of old people.
Well, they're all
Is that what
pretty
you
old.
said? Brett's not old.
You're right.
Brett's not old.
Right. And John. But,
Brett. Who gets a
all right.
Supreme Court justice named Brett?
Brit.
I mean, clearly his parents did not mean for him to be a Supreme Court judge, because if they had, they would have named him Alexander or Ahab, for God's sakes. But Brett? No,
Brett.
they intended him to be
Brett
a
boy.
caddy. And there's nothing wrong
Nothing wrong with being a caddy.
being a caddy. That is an honorable profession. Now, I want to make another margarita.
I'm feeling very, like, I got this flower and I'm waiting for, like, a bee to show up. This is my
Do you have
first
a bee in your bonnet?
bee and I don't have a bonnet, but yeah. Okay, well, my sauce is done.
Well,
It's just, what's the word? It's blending.
it's macerating. It's marinating. Because no sugar was involved, it can't be macerating. Macerating is
careful
something
how
completely
you-
different.
How's that?
We'll see
You
if
got pretty glasses.
more mark what?
Are pretty glasses.
I don't know where those came from. Can you
I bought
explain?
them.
You bought them, of course.
I bought them, but I don't remember where. I thought we all needed pretty You know what? I do my celery juice in this in the morning.
You do your celery juice.
One cocktail.
This is something that I talk to folks about. More people get cut removing the pit from the knife than they do doing the cutting down part. So I'm just going to show you guys, when you want to remove the pit, don't do it like this because there's a lot of chances of getting cut. Squeeze it from the back, thusly. Boop. What is that
But you have to someone make the sound effect.
Boop. That's from something. Oh, that's from that scene in Amelie. How many people are having sex in Paris
yeah.
right now? Or how many people are having
that's not really
orgasms
poop.
in? No, the one woman
That's-
goes. Boop. No, does she?
I know.
Well, that was another woman, so I
45
wouldn't care.
times. Oh, yeah. Okay. Got it.
Are you ready to?
That's a great movie.
On that note,
My
firmly grasp your pestle.
grinding. It's a
And
crow.
here, we'll probably need a little bit more salt. Grind that a bit so that part will be creamy. I like to do the avocado in 2 batches because what?
It's really called grinding. It's not like a more
We're pestling.
pestling. No, the pestles. Mortaring.
No, that's the mortar. That's the pestle.
Oh, we're
so
pestling. We are pestling.
I think we're actively pestling.
Pestling. It's a pestilence. Well, I don't want to like fling it over the bowl, which is something that I would normally do.
Now, because the pestle is on top in this case, this is also known as missionary grinding. If we were to invert. Sorry. Okay, so now because you've
not a
pounded
family
that, this is not a family. Look, this is not a family show. I want to be very clear about that. Quarantine Kitchen is not
any
a family show.
question you've ever
Everything else I've ever done has been a family show. This is not it. This is what happens when Mr. Rogers got a UHF station. So we have pounded to this consistency, and now we're adding the second part of the avocado, which will not be ground as much. I would also like to add the spices now. Crap, what did I do with them? Oh. Cumin, which I think is, oh no, this is the cayenne. Did you often tell me that you didn't watch a lot of Food Network when you were younger? Okay, so,
Zero.
all right, can we grab a spoon? Do you want to lick that off? You will. Okay, well, we'll save that then. So, do you remember Emeril Lagasse and Emeril Live on Food Network? Do you remember Emeril?
I know the name.
Okay. Okay, so tell me what he said when he did this.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Yes. Bada bing, bada boom.
Did he really?
No. He said, guys, what did he say? Bam. See, all the cool kids. Yes. Bam. So what he would do,
Who's the guy that goes with the salt?
that's Salt Bay.
I don't get that at all.
I don't need, he goes, whatever. So a little bit of cumin and a little bit of cayenne. Yeah, Emerald would
think
like
bada
get the
bing,
spice
bada
and he
boom
would
was
step
actually
back and
like
he'd
a-
go, BAM! And the crowd would go, fucking wild. I said that word again.
They go cray.
Okay, now, do you want a little oil added to this or no?
I don't think it needs it, but you would know
almost-
better than I do.
Okay, well, they can't see this. We'll save that.
We will save that.
We'll save that. So here are the chips, and I'm going to call this a trio of chips because they're clearly a lot of different donenesses
Do you want a bowl?
of chip. Oh, here, I was going to put them in a salad bowl. Is that okay?
Oh, salad
Because
bowls
it's
get all
here?
kinds of use.
Huh?
Yeah.
Because it's a multitasker. Here.
It's a multitasker.
So some of the chips are a little more done. That's called rustic. Rustic style chips.
Repeat after him.
Rustic. This is the sign
Not
of an
messed
artisan.
up.
When you see this level of doneness that's different, that's the sign of the artisan.
It's calico.
Calico!
Calico chips. Try.
Okay. So here we have, we're just gonna dip this like right, I'm just gonna hide these onions because apparently I cut way too many of them. So, okay, America, here we go. We've got Calico artisanal chips. Elizabeth's, are we calling that pico de gallo or are we gonna go with the
I haven't
the
gotten an
salsa?
answer yet as to whether or not.
Tell us, is this a pico de gallo or a salsa? Come on, guys, we need some help here.
Neither or or both?
It's a pico. Paul says it's a pico, so that's the one I see. And then we've got our guacamole and our very, very nice, albeit slightly Mini Cooper version. That's going to need a little bit more salt. But not any more cayenne. Oh. Emerald, I may have overbammed that.
Overbammed.
Hashtag overbam.
Yeah.
We've been looking for slogans for the Quarantine Kitchen t-shirts. What was the one? Weenie Hot Mouth?
Weenie Hot
Hot
Mouth.
Mouth would be one. And maybe also, what did I just say about Bam?
You overbammed.
I overbammed. Oh, and I breathed some of it in too. Oh.
Oh my God. Okay.
I sneeze powerfully.
Very,
All right, let's dig in. I'm going for your.
Enthusiastic sneezer.
I'm not enthusiastic. I can't help it.
This is puffy. Big old pillow.
I made a puffy chip. I didn't mean to.
It's okay. It's it is challenging. Oh, but you know what? I'm gonna make a scoop.
That's freaking delicious.
I'm gonna make a
Are
scoop.
you gonna stuff it?
I'm gonna stuff it.
Literally.
Yeah.
You should stuff it with.
See, look, I'm gonna stuff the puffy chip.
And now we're joining Martha Stewart, who is visiting Ina Garden in the Hamptons. All right, can you push that off?
I will.
Push that off with your thumb, because I've only got one hand.
Okay.
Now we've stuffed the chip
Why are
perfectly.
we whispering?
Because that's what you would do if you had a show in the Hamptons with Martha Stewart and
Do you
Ina
want to bother
Garden.
your
And now,
neighbors? I'm topping it with my pico.
because when you're perfect, you don't have to be loud. Meanwhile, I'm going to.
Wow, that's delicious.
Which part? Your salsa is delicious.
The stuffed chip.
I'm getting into the freezer. I told you I would never put you in the freezer again. I don't have time right now to make another full-on margarita, so I'm just going to put some ice and some tequila in the shaker
Things have gone downhill.
with a little bit of tonic water for quick release. And
It's like lube.
it's what?
Like lube for your, I don't know. Never mind. Quick release.
I thought you said something else. I'm sorry.
Lube?
Stop saying lube over and over again. God.
Lube, lube,
This may not be a family show, but we're
lube,
not.
lube, lube. Lube, 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 lube.
Guys,
Stuffing my
we've
chips.
been on an hour almost. What?
I'm finding all the puffy chips.
Oh
so I
shit!
can
See,
stuff
it worked. See, because I put tonic water in it, it didn't just release; it actually exploded as it released.
That's another show. On the pay-per-view channel.
Guys, we really do have standards. We've just forgotten them because of it's. But our testing,
COVID.
we have excellent testing.
Evidently.
We've got excellent
best
testing.
testing.
We've got the
The
best
prettiest.
testing, and I've gone over to just drinking straight tequila. I'll mix some lime in that later. Have you even tried any of the guacamole yet?
You stuffed a whole chip with it, and I ate it, and
I
it's really
stuffed,
good.
I stuffed the chip with guacamole, and then I topped that with artisanal salsa made with.
Well, I hope everybody out there is having guacamole. Although the more guacamoles are sold, guacamoles,
Needs
more
more salt.
avocados are sold. Huh?
Needs more salt, doesn't it? The chips. No. Okay. Go ahead. What were you saying about
More
avocados?
avocados are sold in the Super Bowl than any other time of year. For
Are
some
you
reason.
serious?
It's a Super Bowl dish.
I wonder if we'll have a Super Bowl.
We will not have a Super Bowl.
I bet we will. That's still almost a year away. It'll be fine. It's going to be fine. We just have to learn to entertain ourselves in different ways. I'm entertaining myself with this chunky guacamole.
And chip stuffing. That's my new thing. That's my bag.
Meanwhile,
Bag, baby.
Elizabeth is doing artisanal chip stuffing.
Yes.
All right, hold on.
Quietly.
Oh, hold on. There's a question here I want to deal with.
Deal.
Where is the Scabigail pin on the Alton Brown store? Okay. We had to delay them because of we wanted to make sure that we added the proper legal wording for this thing is freaking sharp. Don't play with it or put it in your mouth because apparently Americans need that. We're done with that now. So the Scabigail pins will go on sale Friday on the Alton shop. No, you won't be able to find that unless you get a link.
Thank you, everyone that bought a cookie.
Oh, the Scabigail. Do we still have one here? The Scabigail cookies from they sold, and so we did donate $10 for every cookie to relief efforts for. I don't know that they can hear you, sweetheart.
I know.
She's coming back because we still have
From the cookies themselves also.
proceeds from the cookies and proceeds from the pins
We
will be going
raised
to the
like
Humane
$1,000.
Society. So there's Scabigail. So we still have a couple of these.
But
I
it's
will
cool
do-
because look, you get like he got like a 3D. And you see the nose, like he gets
It's like
it's
relief. This nose is actually larger than Scabigail's nose. So it's not. It's like, guys, that's just mean. I'm not even entertained by this. Scabigail pins. There will be links to our shop on Friday on Twitter and in my bio on Instagram, and on Scabigail's bio on her Instagram, and maybe yours. I don't know
up to
if you want to
me.
do that as well. But here's the thing.
Oh, I'm Scabigail too.
We only have 900 of them. So they may go fast, but $3 from every purchase will go to the Humane Society, who are the people that saved that amazing little life-changing bundle of joy from a terrible dog hoarding operation in North Georgia. So that's it. We've been on for an hour now, so we should probably go.
Cinco de Mayo.
The nice thing about Cinco de Mayo this year is that we're at home, most of us. So the truth is,
No drunk driving.
you can drink all you freaking want because all you have to do is avoid falling into furniture.
I did read that people that the DWI attorneys are.
Well, DWI attorneys now are
people
all
aren't driving.
are all shifting over to be ready to file lawsuits for people that go places and catch COVID because apparently that's going to be a thing.
Any of us, we're not out drinking and driving, which we shouldn't ever do anyway. But this
What?
drink and drive, but no one's doing it now, which is great.
Don't get in your car and drive 150 miles an hour up 3rd Avenue.
Which, yeah,
And it's really tempting. Driving today in Atlanta, I just want to say this. We were celebrating Elizabeth's mom's birthday, Marguerite. Hi, Marguerite. We know you're watching.
with math.
Because PBS, I don't know, unless something's on PBS tonight. I was driving back this morning from downtown Atlanta, and I was being passed on the freeway by people going 100.
We should sing happy birthday to my mom.
We can, because now we know that we can sing happy birthday to Marguerite, who's how old today?
83 years young.
83. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Marguerite. Happy birthday to you. And with that,
Thank you.
we will leave you for your Cinco de Mayo. Thank you for joining us on another episode of Quarantine Kitchen. Watch for the Scabigail pins online on Friday, and we will see you next week. How do I get out of
the
this?
X.
It's the X. Okay.